Look at an Indian street at dawn. Long before the formal city wakes up, you'll find a tea seller lighting a stove, someone prepping batter, a flower vendor setting up on the corner. Every cart here functions as a node in a massive, integrated system. This heavy load of vegetables represents the literal weight of India's micro-retail network and its last-mile food grid, all operating in real time. Without this informal infrastructure, daily life grinds to a halt. Office workers lose their fast lunches, students lose affordable snacks, and commuters lose the tiny repairs and services located exactly where they actually walk. Yet the people running this massive economic engine live with extreme daily vulnerability. This woman is sitting directly on the bare ground to sell her flowers. Her inventory is completely exposed to unpredictable weather, fluctuating foot traffic, and the constant threat of eviction. The entire urban economy depends on street vendors to function. But the city's formal architecture almost never designs a physical place for them. The result is a daily turf war. Pedestrians, auto rickshaws, parked bikes, and vendor carts are all competing for the same narrow strip of pavement. When you force all that movement into a space that can't hold it, you get intense spatial friction. And cities typically handle that friction with sudden confiscation and police evictions, a crude, reactive form of crowd control that instantly destroys a vendor's livelihood. We usually debate this chaos from two extreme positions. One side views vendors strictly as a criminal encroachment problem that needs to be cleared. The other side views them as a charity case deserving our sympathy. Both perspectives fail because they blame the people using the street instead of looking at the math. A standard footpath was never mathematically sized to hold transit, commerce, customer queues, and waste generation all at the exact same time. Think of the street vendor as an essential, high-utility app running on your city's hardware. Right now, the app constantly crashes, but the app isn't broken. The city simply lacks the correct operating system to manage the load. The government has tried to issue systemic patches. The Street Vendors Act of 2014 was enacted specifically to regulate vending and legally protect vendor rights from arbitrary eviction. We also have a massive financial intervention in play. Through the SVANidhi scheme, over 76 lakh vendors have received billions of rupees in working capital loans. Vendors are fully integrated into the formal economy, taking digital payments through QR codes every single day. But here is the real policy paradox. A vendor can hold a legal vending certificate, use a UPI app, and actively repay a bank loan, while still having absolutely no designated, stable physical space to sell their goods. On the actual pavement, that disconnect makes the policy fail. A working capital loan does not stop a municipal van from seizing the very inventory that loan paid for. Legal recognition and financial credit are incomplete. To actually secure a livelihood, those rights must be tied to guaranteed physical space. To fix this, we need to move away from static, painted lines on a map. We need a live Street Livelihood OS. This starts with a dynamic memory layer. Cities use AI to map footfall and traffic conflicts, creating time-shared vending zones. A single street mathematically expands its capacity. It allocates space for breakfast carts at 8 a.m., clears zones for school buses at 3 p.m., and reactivates for evening markets at 6 p.m. Next is the user profile layer. Vendors receive portable trust passports. These link their vending rights, FSSAI hygiene training, and credit lines in one place, replacing fear-driven random enforcement with predictable data. Finally, we add background processes. If a city allows a food cluster to operate, the OS maps waste bins, shared water access, and municipal cleaning routes directly to the operational hours of those specific vendors. Hygiene and order stop being external compliance burdens that vendors are penalized for missing. They become built-in, automated features of the street's design. Imagine deploying a 90-day pilot of this OS right here in a dense, chaotic night market on a major transit street. You start by mapping the baseline spatial friction and vendor dependency. By prioritizing the data, the street begins to sort itself. Pedestrians get clear paths based on peak flow scores, while women vendors move into well-lit zones designed for safety. Conflict shifts from a physical confrontation to a negotiable data point on a municipal dashboard. We know this is a solvable urban design challenge. Look at global precedents like Singapore, where informal food vending was successfully engineered into highly organized, hygienic public infrastructure. To make this work in India, AI must be used strictly to optimize space and services, never as a tool to justify evictions. And the system has to remain entirely accessible offline, ensuring vendors without smartphones are never locked out of their own livelihood. For decades, city planning has operated on the assumption that clean, pedestrian-friendly streets and vendor livelihoods cannot exist in the same square meter. A better India does not need to erase street vendors to make its streets better. It needs a Street Livelihood OS that finally designs them into the future of the city.